To set up a class notebook, I go through Microsoft Teams, click on Join or Create a Team, and just put in the class name. For example, if I have a class called 1F, I would put in JCF, Junior Cycle F, English, and my name, and 2023 will be the year that they're going to do their junior cycle, just so that it's easy to find them in the long list of teams and notebooks that both they and you will have. You can input them manually here, but ideally you want them to do that in class. You do that, it will bring you into the team. You click on the three buttons here, manage the team, and go to settings, generate a team code. So the students will go into teams, they'll be asked to join a team with a code, and that's the code they'll put in, and it'll automatically join them all then. Then you bring them back to the team. This is obviously where you can communicate really easily, over lockdown through the conversation and the posts. But the class notebook is embedded there in the team. So you can set up the class notebook here through Team. That's the only time you have to go through Teams to do it. Otherwise, you would download the OneNote for Windows 10 app in the App Store. Here are the 4 sections that you'll see in the class notebook. Collaboration space, where students can edit content library that only the teacher can edit, your own private section, and the student's own private section that only you and they can see. They'll automatically be set up with these 4 sections in their notebooks. You can delete them if you think you're not going to use one. You can rename them, poetry, fiction, drama, whatever. You can always come back to that at a later stage and rename them if need be. And then you create your class notebook. So this is what OneNote for Windows 10 looks like. All your notebooks will be listed here under this drop-down arrow. There's JCF I set up. If it wasn't appearing, you might click the More Notebooks button, and it'll bring you into the sections that you can see: the collaboration space, content library, the teacher only section. And you simply just add sections wherever you want to add a new unit or chapter, and add a page within each one. I was to show you an example of a second year class I have. So you have collaboration space. We're doing trash at the moment there in groups. And the collaboration space is a different screencast that will detail that. But the content library here has all the different units, some of which we started in first year. As we started trash before we did it, we were doing some poetry. Here's an example of how you could use some of the functions in the notebook. So I was able to embed this audio visual of the poem Blessing by inserting an online video and just getting the URL from the actual video on YouTube, inserting it there, and the video comes up and is embedded, which is brilliant. Then I just copied and paste the actual text of the poem. This can be projected on the board, and the board, it's basically like a whiteboard. I can use my stylus if I like to just mark the page. I can write in. The students can take this down, but this is saved for students who are not there, or at a later date they can come back in and see everything that we've done. You can still use, you can use highlighters here. You can use all the same functions that you would on Microsoft Word basically, and you can just write in whatever it is you need to. And that'll be saved. So it's basically like a whiteboard. Each new page that you create, you can write on, make notes on, you can cut and paste notes in, insert videos, and it's all there as a log for the students. For example, I would always put my learning intentions there. I highlight whatever one we're doing on a given day and go back and forth between them, so they don't have to waste time writing down very lengthy learning intentions. I use it for key moments here, for example, to show students how to go about here, writing a key moment using kind of fact and analysis. And I use the highlighting tools to show them the difference between them. There's a fantastic translate button. I have students with second language in the class, and if you go to view and the translate button here, you can translate into any language, and you can add it into the notebook then once that's done. Gradually I would release the responsibility onto them. I would just give them the points for a key moment. We might have written this one together, and as we go through, it becomes more about them doing the work. but they have the key here all the time, the original one, to see how to go through it step by step. Some other useful tools to know are being able to attach a file, so that'll attach anything that's on your documents or in your OneDrive. You should just click on it, open it, and it'll paste it in, like as in a Word document. You can print out a file that'll send it in as a PDF, which can't be changed. You can add in pictures, videos from online, and the audio function is really useful, where you can just press the audio button and it record yourself speaking if you want to leave a message or instructions. If there's something that's very lengthy, I found it useful over lockdown where I was leaving very lengthy instructions and really it was too much for students, and sometimes a shorter explanation in my own words and hearing my voice maybe was reassuring to them at times. The immersive reader is also a really useful function for students if they find it difficult to read a lot of text, or maybe for somebody who's visually impaired, and it will just read out the text on the page.
Raphael finds a bag in the trash.
So that's something that's very simple for them to use at home as well. Other functions include the management of the class notebook here, distributing pages. If there's a student who has a very good sample of work, you could distribute, if they agree, you could distribute it to all student notebooks. Or if there's a handout that you want all students to have, and because we can't photocopy, the distribute page function there will send it into all the class notebooks, and you can decide where it goes, which folder would go into in their own class notebooks. Or you can distribute a whole section, whichever you need to. So you could, if I had a sample, my first sample key moment 1, I distributed it into all of their trash key moments folder so that they could see it for homework as they were doing key moment 2. You can manage the student notebook in using this button here if you need to rename any sections in their personal folders, like I said at the start when you were setting them up. Otherwise, the notebook basically works like a Word document, and it's just a digital notebook with all their files and folders like they would have in a lever arch with their dividing pockets. It has everything done out for them. I keep a homework tab for students to show them what I'm doing every day in class and whether there's any homework, and they know to check that so that I don't have to keep posting on Teams all the time.